Okay. So I know I have posted a pump removal video before, but I figured that I would talk a little bit this time. One of our other guys already diagnosed it as a bad pump. It's still functional, but vehicle sometimes won't start, so you have to tap on the bottom of the gas tank. So these marks are just from one of the guys who was looking at it previously, did the current ramping. Push down on the connector, pull up on the tab, at the same time pull up on the whole unit. It's just a little tab that moves a little bit, or that locks into the little nipple here. If there's a lot of dust around here, vacuum it out or blow it out first. You don't need these crimping pliers, but they do make the job a little bit easier, provided you can get in there. So all you do is you squeeze them. There's a little clip that pushes in. Once that's pushed in, you can then pull up on the connector. Just to show you that you don't need it, you can use a screwdriver, push in on the tab, and then lift up on the connector. There's an arrow right here, and there's an arrow at the base of the, or on top of the pump here, or not the pump, sorry, on top of the gas tank. I'll zoom in on it. You just want to roughly align those when you put the pump in. The collar nut is usually just on a turn and a half. To demonstrate that, I mark it. You don't need this release tool, but it makes it easier. You can take a flat screwdriver or pry bar and knock against it. The tricky part is just being careful with these plastic fuel lines. You don't want to kink them or break them, snap any of the fittings. Okay, so that's one turn. Turn and a half. Just carefully lift the lines out of the way. Get some rags ready. Place the rags here. Place the rags here so that when you lift the pump out, it doesn't soak in the carpeting. And as you lift the assembly, you want to make sure that the float does not hang up anywhere. You don't want to bend the float rod or have it get caught on anything, because depending on what pump you ordered, it might not come with it, in which case you have to reuse it. And obviously if you put in a float rod that's bent, you're going to have inaccurate level readings. So just lift it and slowly tilt it, and then out. This rubber ring can be reused if it's still in good shape. Have a look at the inside of the tank and look for any type of debris that could obstruct flow. There's tiny little bits floating down in there. I'm not too worried about those. When you put this sealing ring back on, I like to put PBR rubber grease all over the threads here. It makes it turn nicely, doesn't really hang up. And then again, just tighten as far as your initial marks. Some spillage of fuel is normal, so don't worry about that. If it smells a bit of fuel, that'll go away after a day or so. So the new pump, VDO, Germany, Volkswagen logo, etc. is crossed out, so it's obviously, it looks like genuine piece, but sold through the aftermarket. Didn't come with a level sensor, so we just have to swap that over. To release the connectors, you push down on the little tab, and then you can pull the wire out or off of the board. This one's hanging up. And then there's a couple of tabs here. You lift one, lift the other. And on the new one, it just slides into place. Until it clicks. And then the wires. Here's a little locking tab. Just got to make sure that it's facing up here. And the end will go over the circuit board. Small components. I need glasses. It just has to, connector just has to open up a bit. Wants to go. Let's try this one first. Just got to get the angle right, and most likely have to move this guy back a bit to do so. By tilting the connector down, the front fingers are able to split open and then go over the circuit board. And my locking tab has gone down, so I have to lift it back up. Okay, and then just pull on the connectors, make sure that they're tight. Okay, and that's it. Back in she goes. Obviously replace the float if it looks questionable. Installation is in reverse of removal.